Meet the NFL's greatest American hero, Tom Brady. With more shiny Super Bowl rings than any other quarterback in history, the only time the spotlight wasn't on Brady was when he was selected, or some would say stolen, in the 6th round of the 2000 NFL Draft by the New England Patriots. With a Brazilian supermodel for a wife and a plethora of records to his name, California Cool is so clutch, his pinched playoff game jersey warranted a federal investigation. He may be the poster boy for football perfection, but not even Brady is too perfect for the truth. In what is their own version of the running of the bulls, the United States opens up their Christmas shopping season with a frantic and at times ferocious first world tradition known as Black Friday.
We leave the house at 5, and then we go all day. And then we break for like 2 hours, and then we go back out at night.
The bottom line in this maddening midnight marathon is about getting a good bargain.
You know, it was a good value. It was fun watching the crowd run for the door, and it was a good experience for them to see what life's about, to get the discounts.
Getting the best bang for your buck is also witnessed in the world of American sport. The most famous example coming in the NBA, where Golden State Warriors point guard Steph Curry ranked 82nd in league earnings in 2016 and 4th on his own team. Quite the bargain for arguably the game's greatest ever shooter and 2-time MVP.
I looked at the list of everybody who's won an MVP before, and the legends.
In the NFL, many could argue the same for Tom Brady. In 2016, 17 quarterbacks had a higher salary cap hit than Tom Terrific, and that includes Jay Cutler, who signed a $126 million contract in 2014, despite being labeled a destroyer of football dreams. In other words, he stinks. Brady, on the other hand, practically brings the roses with him whenever he plays. And his team-friendly 4-year, $71.8 million contract means management is smelling pretty too. But for Brady, it's less about the Benjamins and more about the Super Bowls.
You know, I just love the game. I love playing. I love representing our team. And it's a lot of sacrifices and a lot of support from a lot of people that love you and support you. So probably the most gratifying thing is to win the game and then to celebrate with your teammates and your loved ones.
Coming up, the rise of an NFL legend. The quarterback position in the NFL is the most popular and commands the most pressure. Because the way every offensive player on the field moves depends on what play a quarterback calls. And as the commander-in-chief, the defense is ready to pounce on him like a hungry lion does its prey. Hence, if you can handle the heat, you can become a champion. And perhaps nobody handles it better than Tom Brady.
Don't crack under pressure means a lot of things. It means certainly on the field, you know, there's a lot of pressurized moments. There's a lot of moments where you've got to make the critical play. You've got to do the right thing at the right time. And I've had a lot of experience over the course of my life on and off the field where, you know, those experiences are the most challenging, shape who you are, and they shape what you're all about. And they the people around you know that they can count on you and they believe in you. And I think that's what I've always wanted to be to my teammates. Someone that when they look in my eyes at the critical moments, they know that they can believe in me and they know that I can get the job done.
Getting the job done. Something Brady's done ever since breaking into the league as a lowly 6th-round draft pick out of Michigan University in 2000. Arriving at Foxborough 4th on New England's depth chart, the pressure was off. But 1 year later, pressure tackled him smack in the numbers. In 2001, Patriots starter Drew Bledsoe was knocked out of a game against the New York Jets, and Brady was thrust into the spotlight. And it couldn't have gone better. Because he'd guide the team all the way to victory in Super Bowl 36, defeating the St. Louis Rams 2017. He went 16 for 27 for 145 yards and 1 touchdown and was named the game's MVP. And when Bledsoe was traded in the offseason, the Patriots became Brady's team. And eventually, Brady's team became a dynasty. 2003, and after playing injured most of the year prior, Brady came back healthy and hungry and won himself another Super Bowl and MVP award. With a record-setting 32 pass completions, the Patriots beat the Carolina Panthers 32-29. 2004, and in a case of different season, same ending, Brady would guide the team to another Super Bowl title, this time 24-21 against the Philadelphia Eagles. 2007, and after a couple of close calls, the team would return to the Super Bowl, riding on the coattails of what many consider the greatest passing season by a quarterback in history. Brady ended the year with 4,806 yards passing and became the first QB to pass for 50 touchdowns with just 8 interceptions. He was named League MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, and AP Male Athlete of the Year for his efforts. The efforts also left the Patriots undefeated heading into Super Bowl 42. However, Brady was spotted wearing a protective boot, leaving his ever-eloquent coach, Bill Belichick, to shed light on the matter.
I don't have any comment on it. The injury report will be out next Wednesday, and we're excited to give that to you.
But they weren't excited with the final result. In what is considered one of the biggest upsets in sports history, the New York Giants dealt the Patriots a 17-14 loss in the most important game of the season. And then the following year, Brady would tear his ACL and miss the entire season.
You know, when you sit on the sideline for an entire year, you realize how much you love it, and not that you need that to happen to be grateful to play, but you experience things in a much different way.
In 2011, he'd get back to the Super Bowl again, but he wouldn't experience things in a different way, for their opponent was their nemesis, the New York Giants.
There's a great rivalry, there has been between New York and Boston for a long time. So when I got to the team, it was always Red Sox, Yankees. So, we've had some pretty meaningful games against the Giants over the last few years. I don't think anyone's disappointed that it's the Giants.
Maybe they should have been. The Pats lost again, this time 21-17. 2014, and Brady would return to the big dance for a record 6th time, this time against the Seattle Seahawks, led by their outspoken running back, Marshawn Lynch.
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Brady went on to complete 37 of 50 passes for 328 yards and 4 touchdowns, engineering a 10-point fourth-quarter comeback. And when Malcolm Butler made a game-saving interception on the goal line, the Pats sealed the deal, and Brady would tie Terry Bradshaw and Joe Montana with 4 Lombardi trophies. He'd later tie Montana for most Super Bowl MVP awards with 3, as the comparisons between the two post-match were inevitable, albeit not entertained by the man of the moment.
I never put myself in those, discussions. I It's not how I think. I don't ever, you know, there's so many great players that have been on so many great teams, and, you know, we've had some great teams that haven't won it. And I think you just got to enjoy the moment and enjoy the, you know, we've been on the other end of this twice now, and being ahead late and not being able to make the plays to win. And, you know, this time we made the play to win, so it's just awesome.
2016 would see Brady miss the first 4 games of the season, courtesy of a convoluted case we'll touch on later, known as Deflategate.
It's tough competition in the NFL, and you know, every team is working hard this time of year, and you know, we can't take any days off. We're gonna go out there and, you know, try to, you know, work on something every day, and you know, everyone's got to be ready to go.
Despite the lack of game time, Brady sure was ready to go, breaking records for most regular season touchdown passes with one team, and most wins by a quarterback in NFL history. All this on a fragile planting foot.
I don't think everyone's feeling great this time of year, so just do the best you can do, and you know, I'll try to do the same.
His best meant another trip to the Super Bowl, and the 51st edition of the greatest show on turf was witness to the greatest comeback in NFL history. Having gone down to the Atlanta Falcons 28-3 at halftime, Brady and the Patriots clawed their way back, highlighted by an insane Julian Edelman catch and another Brady masterclass. After sending the game into the Super Bowl's first ever overtime, a James White 2-yard run sealed the deal. Brady put up another stat line for the ages, completing 43 of 62 passes for 466 yards and 2 touchdowns. He set new single-game Super Bowl records in the process. He ended with his 5th Super Bowl, tied for the most in NFL history, and was named Super Bowl MVP for a record 4th time.
To beat this team and to get down 28-3, and you know, it was just a lot of mental toughness by our team, and you know, we're all going to remember this for the rest of our life. That was exactly the way we didn't plan it. That was everything we didn't want to do in the first half, and it was better in the second half, so it was a great, you know, just a hell of a football game.
The game clearly cemented his status as one of the game's greatest ever quarterbacks, if not the greatest.
I don't think anything about, you know, a personal legacy. I mean, those words would never even come out of my mouth unless I just repeated them. So those things have never been important to me. You know, I never thought I'd be at this point in my life. I never thought that I could, you know, play professional football. You know, I didn't think I'd play any professional sports. Of course, I had dreams and hopes like probably a lot of kids, but never could imagine that I'd be here.
After the break, a few Brady bumps and bruises along the way. Nobody is perfect. Hence, when an athlete seems to live a life of perfection, they're analyzed with a magnifying glass in an attempt to identify a weakness. Tom Brady could be considered the perfect All-American boy, although his football enemies would challenge that notion, and are quick to claim that he's not as squeaky clean as he seems. Born and raised in the San Francisco Bay, it was inevitable that Brady cheer for the NFL's team of the 80s, the San Francisco 49ers.
I was, you know, blessed to grow up in the Bay Area at a great time, and you know, we went to a lot of 49er games over the years, and you know, Steve Young and Joe Montana were my idols, and they still are.
That said, there are a handful of people Brady probably wouldn't consider his idols, and the feeling is mutual. First up, Rex Ryan, the former head coach of Brady's most hated team, the New York Jets. A player's coach who is often quite bold and even brash with the media, Ryan wasn't amused with Brady after he helped tear apart the Jets 45-3 in a 2010 game, allegedly taunting Ryan along the way. Brady took a shot at me by his antics on the field, Ryan said. He always points to everybody after he scores. Ryan admits, however, that you get nowhere in the NFL without someone like Tom Brady on your side.
When you got a great quarterback, you almost, it's rare that you don't go to the playoffs with a great quarterback.
And then there's Richard Sherman.
We believe in what we do. We believe in our system. We believe in our mentality, our philosophy, and we expect to go out there and execute.
Sherman has been executing opposing wide receivers since being drafted by the Seattle Seahawks in 2011. Just 1 year later, he talked trash at Brady during their October 2012 clash, getting in his grill post-game following their victory with a famous post on Twitter. He told me and Earl to see him after the game when they win. I found him after, and then he superimposed, "You mad, bro?" Sherman later clarified that Brady didn't exactly say those words, but gave a look implying them. The QB retorted, "Truthfully, at that time, I thought he was just coming up to say good game. It was loud after that game, so I didn't really hear anything." Nonetheless, they finally had it out on the biggest stage of them all, the Super Bowl in 2015, with Sherman seeing Brady in the same vein as another legend, Peyton Manning.
The Patriots are very dynamic in their offensive approach and have great variety. So I'd say it's kind of a wash in that regard. I think if you're facing either one of them, you're in for a tough day.
It was just that for Sherman and the Seahawks at Super Bowl 49, with Brady having the last laugh in their 28-24 victory. And finally, how could you forget Roger Goodell?
I have great admiration and respect for Tom Brady, but the rules have to be enforced on a uniform basis, and they apply to everybody in the league.
In 2015, the NFL, led by their polarizing commissioner, suspended Brady for 4 games following his alleged involvement in a scandal that rocked the league. A scandal of squishy footballs known as Deflategate.
Every team is trying to do the best they can to win every week. I believe in fair play, and I always believe in it for as long as I'm playing.
Following the Patriots' dismantling of the Indianapolis Colts 45-7 in the 2014 AFC Championship game, it was discovered that footballs were tampered with prior to kickoff. Because it seems slightly underinflated footballs give Brady a competitive edge. And like that, the uncomfortable ball talk ensued.
When I picked those footballs out, at that point, to me, they're perfect. I don't want anyone touching the balls after that. I don't want anyone rubbing them, putting in the air in them, taking the air out. To me, those balls are perfect.
I've handled dozens of balls over the past week. The texture of the balls is very easy to identify. The pressure of the balls, footballs, is a whole different story.
The Patriots went on to win the Super Bowl, and with 11 out of 12 footballs found marginally deflated, it gave former US President Barack Obama comedic material when the Pats dropped by.
I usually tell a bunch of jokes at these events, but with the Patriots in town, I was worried that 11 out of 12 of them would fall flat.
But like Barack Obama's joke, Goodell and the NFL fell flat on its face in their investigation because there remains no concrete evidence to prove Brady ordered the balls to be deflated.
There are those in the league office who are more determined to prove that they were right rather than admit any culpability of their own or take any responsibility for the initiation of a process and ensuing investigation that was flawed.
Goodell's relationship with Brady may be flawed, but there are few flaws when examining the quarterback's relationship with his family. For those who love to hate Tom Brady for how seemingly awesome he is on the field, imagine their thoughts of him for his life off of it. For one, he went from dating American actress Bridget Moynihan from 2004 to 2006, with whom he has a child, to being set up on a blind date with this woman, Gisele Bündchen. The Brazilian model turned actress and businesswoman tied the knot with Brady in 2009. And together, they have 2 children. Bündchen has battled for Brady, standing up for him when he was heckled by fans following their Super Bowl 46 loss. "My husband cannot throw the ball and catch the ball at the same time," she angrily bit back. She's also taken a stand on what Brady wears when the helmet is off.
When I'm off the field, I want to represent myself and my family in a certain way also, so I put a little effort into it.
That effort to wear the family name like a badge of honor was seen upon winning his 5th Super Bowl in 2017, when he paid tribute to his mother, who was battling cancer.
It was great, it was great. She's been through a lot, way harder than what I went through last night, way harder than what our team went through last night. And my dad's been there every step of the way. So they set such a great example for me. And all families go through challenging times, personally. But she has a lot of support and a lot of love. And I was just happy last night to be able to celebrate with her. And she hadn't been to a game all year, so what a hell of a game for her to be at.
But the key to Brady's success is in how he treats his body. To him, it's a machine, and nobody in the league is more meticulous with their health.
I think my diet, my nutrition, my hydration levels have improved over time, my exercise, the tissue work that I get, also that I can continue to play at a high level. So, you only get one body, so you got to be concerned with the stuff that you put into it, and especially when you're an athlete and you're trying to maximize your potential.
Still to come, Tom Brady, the GOAT. In sport, there are GOATs, and then there are GOATs, or greatest of all time. The debate in determining who is the best is usually a contentious one. Pelé or Maradona? Jordan or James? Federer or Williams? When it comes to the greatest quarterback who ever played, few can compete with Tom Brady. Because between 2000 and 2016, he won 5 out of 7 Super Bowls, the only QB to do so, and the only player to win them all with one team. During that time, he won the most Super Bowl MVP awards and was selected to more Pro Bowls and won more division titles than any other QB in history. Even his fellow quarterbacks agree, the winningest quarterback in NFL history is the GOAT.
Well, I just loved it being a 6th-round pick. It wasn't like everything was handed to him. He had to work his way up and prove it, and he's faced a lot of adversity and gone through a tough injury in 08, and just think the world of him as a player, as a leader, and he's a guy we're all chasing after.
But perhaps nobody knows how special he is more than his trusty head coach, Bill Belichick. Together, Brady and Belichick are the most successful quarterback-coach tandem in NFL history.
With all due respect, I think it's really inappropriate to suggest that in Tom's career he's been anything other than a great teammate, a great worker, and has given us every single ounce of effort, blood, sweat, and tears that he has in him.
Brady backs up all the hype when it matters most, in the postseason. Tom Terrific has appeared in more playoff games than any other player, and is the winningest playoff quarterback in history. It's safe to call Tom Brady the GOAT. Ever since he entered the league, Tom Brady's actions have spoken much louder than words. And in a sport where brash talk and bravado reigns, at the end of the season, it's usually Brady who has the last laugh.
Anyway, I love luck.
He may have turned 40 in 2017, but much like his rare talent, his passion for the game hasn't waned.
Football is such a great sport, and I love it, and it's demanding and it's taxing, but you know, I think it's the greatest sport in the world, and you know, I just love what I do.
Unless you're lined up against him on game day, you love what he does too. And that is the truth.